North Central Arkansas's premier news talk program. Brought to you by Baxter Regional Medical Center, providing big city healthcare with a hometown touch. And now, Down on the Corner.
Good morning and welcome to Down on the Corner. I am not Dale Hoffman. I'm Bob Reichenwald.
Hi, Dale.
We are sitting in for Dale this morning. He's not feeling well, so we're going to do the best we can with what we've got. And what I've got is Scooter.
And the sad part is, the one day he's sick and we got to deal with what we got, and we got Dennis. I mean, what are we going to do?
Man, you got double curse.
All we got to do is turn on the mic. Dennis can run 900 mile an hour with his mouth. He's got more things to talk about.
Oh, you almost said that. I don't know about running mouth. I don't know.
Well, he's got some good stuff to talk about.
I've been accused of that. Well, we tried, Bob.
This morning we're sponsored by BRMC Urgent Care 24/7. You can access that with your smartphone, your tablet, your computer. $69 per visit. And they say the best thing to do with that, Scooter, is to sign up before you need it. That way you're not wasting the time to go through all the preliminaries.
Yeah, they say it takes about 5 minutes or so to get all your key information put in. And it doesn't cost anything to download the app, get everything put in, have it ready, and that you only pay when you need to see a doctor.
So you just go to the Apple App Store or your Android store and download BaxterRegionalCare.com. You can go there probably. They've got a link to the App Store. And sign up for that. Like I say, it's $69 per visit. I wonder where they answer those calls at.
I don't know.
We have to ask Tobias to find out.
That's a good question.
Urgent Care 24/7 from your smartphone, your tablet, or your computer. $69 a visit, or go to BaxterRegionalCare.com and download it there.
There you go.
Yeehaw.
Easy enough.
I'm not drinking Brewed Awakening coffee. And
I am.
I know Dennis is. He's
Mr.
a
Dennis
coffee
is,
fan.
so he'll.
It's good coffee, I can tell you that.
But who made it this morning? You made it this morning?
It was on automatic.
It was on automatic.
Dale had set it up, and then it just automatically was brewing.
Because the reason I ask is because when I came in this morning, that cup that Mr. Denis has got had a spoon in it.
They probably ate it.
I'll be right back.
And there's no spoon now.
Makes
Brewed Awakening
you wonder.
Coffee is the Brewed Awakening Coffee. 3 locations to serve you. Baxter Regional Lobby, Bomber Boulevard, which for now you can probably get in and out of Bomber Boulevard location pretty easy until school starts, and then all the kids will be hitting that up pretty regularly.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised they haven't tried to figure out a way to ban that coffee stop for those kids before they hit school. Or out west by Walmart in, what is that called out there?
Out west by Walmart?
Out west by Walmart.
There you go.
Cinnamon rolls, coffee, pumpkin spice. Dale likes to talk about the pumpkin spice coffee out there. And every now and then he'll brag about a cinnamon roll. And
Cinnamon rolls are pretty good.
They must be scarce because, he doesn't bring them very often. Brewed Awakening Coffee, 3 locations: Baxter Regional Lobby, Bomber Boulevard, 62 West out toward Walmart.
Be 62 East.
62 East. Well, it depends on where you're coming from.
Oh, true.
Right? If you're coming from the lake, it's west.
But if you're coming from Mountain Home, it's on the east side.
Yeah.
Don't all things come from Mountain Home?
See?
Except me, I come from Carter, but that would still be west.
That'd still be
I
west.
knew there was something wrong with you.
Let's play the zip code game, okay?
There you go. No, I'm not good with that.
Uh-huh. And now,
Roller Funeral Home brings you morning prayer.
morning prayer from Roller Funeral Home. What do you say about Roller Funeral Home?
My big thing, people, Dale for a long time talked about, you don't go shopping for a funeral home, you don't blah, blah, blah. But you actually should. You actually should go out and talk to them and set up your plans beforehand. And that way your loved one in a bad time in their life, they just lost somebody, and they're not trying to figure out what your wishes are. And
Yeah, Dale hits on this every now and then. A couple years ago or a year and a half ago, I was out mowing for a lady, and she said, I watch that show every morning. And Dale talks about Roller Funeral Home, and I agree, they are good people, but you need to have him promote pre-planning.
Yep.
And I said, yes, ma'am, I'll tell her. Well, of course, the next time I went out, You didn't tell him because I really didn't. And so after the third
now
time,
you know.
After the third time, I had to go back and mention it to Dale. But that does make a lot of sense. If you're not under distress, you're not upset, and all you have to do is contact the funeral home, and they come take care of everything because you've already made your plan. You made your wishes known. And,
All right.
but the folks over at Roller, I've known them folks a long time. They've been here forever. They have built a huge funeral home business, and
They have a passion for what they do, though. You talk to any one of them over there, their heart is in it for the right reasons. I mean, they're there to try to make things better for you and then to honor the wishes of the loved one.
And if you don't know where Roller Funeral Home is, head up Highway 5 north, not south, north.
Good job.
I'm not directionally challenged. And look for the biggest flag in Baxter County.
That would be it.
I believe that's probably the biggest flag, American flag in Baxter County. Roller Funeral Home, with all our respect. Now, time for the morning prayer. Lord God, we just thank you for this great day that you've given us. Thank you for the rain that we've had. Lord, we just ask that you be with the people down around the south coast of Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida, where they received a whole lot more rain than what we have in the last 48 hours. Lord, we know there was some tree damage. Some folks are without electricity at this time. Just be with them, keep them safe. Be with their family members as they try to go give them some assistance. Lord, we just pray that you will, and we know that you are always in control, and we just pray that you'll continue to do so. We pray for our government, our local police officers, firefighters, first responders, and anyone in law enforcement. We pray for our armed services, and we just pray that you'll continue to lift them up and keep us all safe. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Good job.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, and now, da, 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 the weather.
Gabriel, he is not. There you go.
See,
now you should record that.
Little off
It
key,
is.
but
I've got it recorded. We may use that.
Now, every day you just hit that button.
But
And
just bring up Dennis's face and him going.
ladies and gentlemen, Denis Dunderdale on his golden trumpet. Hit us one more time, sir.
do you remember the Mills Brothers? They used to do entire songs that way with.
They did?
Yeah, mouth instruments. Yeah.
They
Really?
did. It's
Yeah,
No
hilarious.
clue.
Yeah.
Are you that old?
No, but I know them.
Oh.
I'm just a pup.
Weather brought to you by the Z Team. Bob and Linda Zadora. Call the Z Team at 870-405-0793 for all your real estate needs. And this morning they will bring the morning weather. Let's check out the river report. A little froggy down there.
It is. It is.
Yeah, that dew point is right at air temperature, isn't it?
I like the
you
way
live
they.
out close to the river?
Yeah, well, yeah, not that close, but yeah. If you look, see that clearing up to the upper right of the screen there? That's right up about where I am.
I like the way that the shot is, and the water comes around and like a horseshoe, so it looks like Cotter Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
5 miles of river frontage in one little town.
Is that right?
Yeah. Because of that peninsular effect, yeah.
The Z Team, Bob and Linda Zadora, 870-405-0793, brings you the morning weather every day.
You can always go to their website, retiredarkansas.net,
.net.
and this webcam is going 24/7. So what's really cool is when down at the park, and you can barely see the park and the clearing there, but when they got baseball games or a festival going on, you can actually watch it from the live cam here. It's pretty
Yeah,
neat.
I was talking to Bob on a Monday show, and that has got to be the greatest location to watch fireworks.
Oh, I'll bet. Yeah.
There you
Off
go.
their deck,
Yeah.
their gazebo in the backyard, and have the burgers going on the grill and just watch, because you could probably watch them from all different directions.
Yeah.
We should have pushed that on the
Yeah.
around 4th of July. Just go to their website, watch the webcam, and see the fireworks.
Sure.
That would've
Actually,
been
you
cool.
should have filmed what was. You should have seen if you could have recorded what was coming off of it.
Yeah,
That would have been cool.
I
Yeah.
could have.
Well, you know,
Anyway.
Hindsight.
here we are. 71 degrees in Mountain Home, 73 in Flippin, 71 in Harrison, 73 in Yeovil, 72 in Salem. Calico Rock calls in with 71, Mountain View 73, St. Louis, Missouri 73, Poplar Bluff, Missouri 74, West Plains, Missouri 72, Branson 68, In Watford City, North Dakota, 59.
59.
Nice cool day in Watford City.
There you go. There you go.
Let's see. If we go then to
I put them in order, so you should be able to go to the next page.
the order.
There you go. Doppler radar.
Doppler radar.
Yeah,
Looks like the rain is traveling to the south. Well, it is in the south, traveling to the northeast.
Well, they're getting hammered down in the southwest part of our state, aren't they?
There's some warnings and stuff we'll show you here in a little bit. Southern Arkansas is under some pretty good thunderstorm, flash flood warnings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like there's
There they are.
There you go.
excessive heat watch. Is that what that one is?
Which one you
Flash
looking at?
flood warning? What is that?
That up there is flash flood, I believe.
See, you put all these nice little color-coded things on the screen for me, and I'm colorblind as a bat.
Oh, dear.
Oh, that's...
I don't know if I can help you from this distance here. No, I can't quite see it that any further.
So those are flash flood warnings I'm looking at.
Yeah.
There we go. And looks like
I think-
Texas has got some heat.
And through Arkansas, the green is just kind of a flash flood watch, and then you'll see the burgundy red down there on the southern part of Arkansas where it's the actual warning.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Nonetheless, folks, it's wet.
There you go. Now, if you go back to that Doppler radar, you can click right on Arkansas, and it'll
There you
bring
go.
up the local. There we go.
Looks like Mena, Hot Springs, Little Rock, Pine Bluff, they're going to stay pretty wet all day today, it looks like. How do you put this in motion, Scooter? Do you have a clue?
There should be a loop button. Loop, base loop, or composite loop, one or the other. There it goes.
Wow.
Good job.
Wow, there we go.
You can see the warning boxes there where it's showing the flash flood warning and the thunderstorm warning.
Yeah, and this doesn't look like it's moving very fast, so it's going to, like I said, it's going to be plenty wet down there south of Little Rock, down around Hot Springs. Looks like Batesville can get some. Jonesboro looks like they're in line for some today. I got a message from a friend of mine yesterday, said that before noon yesterday, Paragould had 4.5 inches of rain. That's a
Wow.
lot of rain.
Wow. For flat land like that it is, and it's
Yes,
already
and
saturated,
it's already
too.
saturated,
Yeah.
so not looking good. 7-day forecast. 60% chance of rain today. Showers likely. Chance of thunderstorm. High 84, which is totally opposite of what my phone says. Tonight, partly cloudy. Wednesday, 20% chance of rain, partly sunny, then heavy rain, high of 92. Low tomorrow night of 74, decreasing clouds, and then Thursday. Now's the trumpet time. Thursday.
Dun, 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 dun.
There we
See,
go.
he's got me beat.
He's got you whooped. High
There
of
you go,
93
you're
and
getting it.
sun's shiny on Thursday. Sun's going to shine on Friday. Sun's going to shine on Saturday. High of 93 all 3 days.
Ooh, it's going to get warm.
It's going to be warm. Like it. I drive Arkansas. What do these little X's mean? Looks like we've got some washout roads in Yell County. Highway 155. Looks like 225 in Faulkner County is under construction, so it is closed. Let's go over to eastern Arkansas. Let's come up here to
That was pretty close to us.
377 in Searcy County is a landslide. Outside lanes are closed. They'll get that cleaned up pretty quick, I bet. Well, no, you know what? That's from June 28th. So they haven't got it cleaned up yet. Or haven't updated it. Highway 61 in Crittington County. They have a bridge issue. That's an old, looks kind of old. It's from June 12th. 181 in Mississippi County is another bridge issue, and that's from July the 8th. And it does not say how long they expect that to be down.
If you're driving to Arkansas, you can always go to iDrive Arkansas. I use it all winter long with the wrestling and stuff like that, so I can see. It'll actually tell you what every road condition is, especially if it's, in the wintertime when it's snow and stuff like that. It's a good app to have.
MoDOT
Now that looks a lot better than what it has, though. The reds are going away. The oranges are just some road construction, but
Missouri's got the measles.
yeah, Missouri's got a lot going on right now.
Yeah, sure does. Pavement repair close to us. Pavement repair in Ozark County. That'll be happening today until 3:30. And over toward West Plains and that area. Looks like Oregon County's got some resurfacing going on. So they've got a lot of road work, which is natural for summertime for Missouri. They do a lot of road work in the summertime. But you can go to MoDOT. Is it MoDOT.com or MoDOT.gov.com? Check them out if you're traveling in Missouri. You can check out those roads and see what you've got ahead of you. If it looks like it's too rough, just make a plan and go around it.
There you go.
Looks like modot.org.
.org.
.org. I can't see it from this screen.
Yep,
so.
there it is right there.
Yep.
And we've got Colin and allergy, current allergy report. Yesterday was 4.4. Today's going to be 0.4.
Man.
Wow.
Heck of a drop.
All that rain is taking care of some of that pollen in the air.
Washed out the sky.
Top allergens today are grasses, plantain, and nettle. Tomorrow's going to be a 2.7, which is a low to medium.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And that is the weather, brought to you by the Z-Team, Bob and Linda Zadora from Century 21 Realty. You can reach them at 870-404-0793 or retiredarkansas.net. Check out the website. Check out that webcam and see if the fog has lifted any.
It's coming
It
up.
has. Boy, it
Yeah.
has. It's shifted over land instead of the water.
Yeah, you can see the water now. You can see it. Yeah, that looks nice.
Now, this is going to be a crazy question, and you guys may not be able to answer it. Is that a pretty big bluff right there where the river hits and goes
Yes.
to
From
the
where
north?
they are down, yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the wind current probably moves that fog pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be darned.
There you go.
All right. Bob and Linda Zadora, the Z-Team, Century 21.
All right, now for community calendar,
Brought to you by
Old Time Restaurant on the Square. Do you know what today is?
Tuesday.
Well, I know, but do you know what that? Have you been watching enough to know?
Tuesday.
The twos. You got 2 pancakes, 2 sausage or bacon, and
Tuesday.
2 eggs.
I love it.
Just for $5.88. Or for lunch, you got meatloaf. It's meatloaf
Is that
day.
2 pieces of meatloaf?
It's one big piece of meatloaf.
You
How's
could
that?
cut it in half
But
and
what
get 2
happened,
pieces.
what happened to Tuesday?
Well, you take that big piece and you slice it right in the middle with your fork.
Well,
It's that,
you don't
it's
have
that
to-
tender.
you know-
You don't have to be on his
I'm
side.
about to say,
No,
we'll help you out. We'll cut it in half for you. How's that?
Put the potatoes in the middle.
Yep, homemade meatloaf. We got 2 sides, roller cornbread, $6.88. Can't beat it. Amanda's got a bunch of homemade pies. Just go in there, have a good time. Give Amanda a hard time. She loves it. Tell him Dennis Dunderdale told you to do it. And just have a ball. Grab you a cup of coffee. Have a good time. Enjoy
Is it
life.
at least 2 rolled egg?
Cut it in half, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you got a top and a bottom.
So much for Tuesday.
Then we give you a top and a bottom of it. Yeah, what more you want?
It's kind of like the old Oklahoma warranty. If it breaks, you get both parts.
There you go. There you go.
Community
You may look if there's anything on that list. I don't know what's all on it. If it's worth going, I will say this: that the OFA football, Ozark Football Association, to this Saturday is having a training camp, and it'll be at the high school bomber field. 3rd and 4th grade is from 9 to 11. And then 5th and 6th grade will be from noon to 2. It is a free event. Whether you're playing for the OFA or not, if
I
you
was
want
just
to come
going to
to
say
it.
the same thing. It is open to all youth players,
I had
boys or girls.
parents sent a thing in, was asking their child plays for another area but is in town, and we said yes, it's open to whoever wants to go, and they're going to have some snacks and food for them as well, so it'll be a good event.
Great.
Karaoke and tacos. VFW Post
You got
30
my attention.
VFW Post 3246 here in Mountain Home on 214 West 7th Street. Karaoke and tacos. Come out for an evening of fun. That's tonight. Well, it says from 8 to 5. I can't imagine it'll be 8 to 5 all day today, but you're going to be singing to the choir if you go at 8 o'clock in the morning, I would bet.
Yeah.
Sing your heart out, eat some tasty tacos, and sell it to VFW Tuesday night and it is open to the public. 6 o'clock every Tuesday, it says. So there you go. Lunch and bingo at the American Legion Post 52 from 11 to 12:30. Bring your friends, have a lunch, play some bingo. The Ladies Auxiliary open up the kitchen for lunch from 11 to 12:30, selling sandwiches, chips, desserts, drinks. Lunch special will be posted on Facebook that morning. Go to their Facebook post. It does not say what it is, but I'm sure it's not hard to find. Let's see what else we've got. I would like to mention that the Mountain Home Diamonds open pool play today and the 16 and under girls softball World Series up in Branson.
Wow.
They play Clearwater this morning, and
Good
they'll
for
play
them.
pool play,
Good
and
luck.
then they'll start bracket play after that is completed. We'll try to keep you posted on how that's going every morning.
All right.
Community news brought to you every morning by Old Time Restaurant on the Square. Today is 2 for Tuesday. Woohoo!
2 for Tuesday. Is that two for FER or
That'd be FER.
two for? Yeah.
All right, we're going to have to work on your rhythm till you're about 6 minutes over, but you did good.
Well, let me tell you
did
something.
good. I'm impressed.
For what it pays, doesn't matter.
There you go. We're going to take a quick break. We got Denis Dunderdale from Arkansas Game and Fish. We'll be right back.
If you want the best breakfast or lunch in the Twin Lakes area, then you've got to come to the Old Time Restaurant. Voted the best breakfast and lunch for 2011, the Old Time Restaurant not only gives you the Southern hospitality right when you walk in the door, they also offer scrumptious breakfast options to curb that early morning appetite. Or stop in later in the day for a tasty sandwich, salad, or a daily special. If a sweet tooth is your guilty pleasure, you can't go wrong with a pie lady cooking out over 30 different types of pies. That's the Old Time Restaurant located on the square in Mountain Home.
Our old burger was only 7 ounces, but now it's 8 with brioche bun and pickles. Comes with its own steak knife, it's really that big. Your best competition is always yourself. Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back. Oh, baby, Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back. We're focused on one thing, burgers, ribs, fajitas. Just that one thing, burgers, ribs, and fajitas. We're reeling in our menu because it got out of hand. We had a moment of self-actualization. Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back. Oh, baby, Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back.
Do you know where your money goes when you give to charity? At the Salvation Army, 85 cents of every dollar stays to help those in need in our local community. Hi, I'm Captain Spaulding. The money we raise help people in the surrounding 5 counties, including Baxter, Marion, Sharp, Izzard, and Fulton. You can help by donating your unwanted items and by shopping at the Salvation Army store. Those in need get assistance with rent, utilities, sending kids to camp, and many other things. When it comes to this charity, the Salvation Army always helps those in our community.
Whether you're a professional lawnscape contractor or a homeowner in need of quality lawn equipment, Moran's Lawn & Garden has you covered. Moran's is the longest originally owned lawn and garden business in Mountain Home, with a 5,700 square foot warehouse packed full of new current year inventory for all your lawn maintenance needs. Moran stocks a full line of factory parts, and they service everything they sell, offering top names like Grasshopper, Hustler, and Country Clipper. Moran stands behind their quality service with thousands of customers using their products daily. Moran's Lawn & Garden, servicing the entire Twin Lakes area.
When I grow up, I want to save lives, like a superhero, and show up when people needed me.
When I grow up, I want to do animations. I want to create characters that can fly.
No matter what it is you want out of life, there is a path to get there.
When I grow up, I don't know what I want to do when I grow up, but I know I want to go to college.
Arkansas State University Mountain Home. Take your first step at asumh.edu.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detailed services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
Why would I recommend Hospice of the Ozarks? Because I know the people that work there, I know their hearts, and I know that their desire is to help people with the suffering and the anxiety and the things that can come with either terminal diagnosis or a terminal condition. We want them to have a peace of heart and to have a comfort and to know that someone's there to help them through that so they can enjoy the time that they have.
Diatley Dental Care is a family-owned dental practice. Doctors Irvin and Christina Diatley grew up in the Twin Lakes area and are proud to serve the community. With modern treatment methods and state-of-the-art technology, they are dedicated to providing exemplary care to patients of all ages. Our compassionate team consistently receives training above and beyond the standard of care.
We're changing the way you see dentistry.
Come be a part of our dental family.
Jim Brown Company keeps you cool when it's hot and warm when it's not. A trusted name in the mountain home community, Jim Brown Company provides timely heating and cooling installation and repairs. Our certified technicians incorporate new technology on every job to provide you with the most advanced services. At our metal fabrication shop, we handle projects big and small. We've created everything from commercial ducts to custom designs.
I'd recommend Jim Brown Company to my friends and neighbors. The reason being they have high-tech equipment. Their service techs are well qualified for the job that they do, and they also send me a report after all the work is done so I know exactly what my unit's doing.
By visiting our showroom, you can learn all about our heating and cooling products. We'll educate you on your options and help you decide on the right solution. For total comfort at your home or business, choose Jim Brown Company. Quality service with a family name since 1964.
Hey, we're back live with Mr. Denis Dunderdale, Arkansas Game and Fish, and we're going to talk about CWD, chronic wasting. Is it wasting? Or
wasting, yes.
Wasting
yes.
disease.
Well, we talk about this a few times because when I say we, the state of Arkansas discovered that we had CWD present in the state. CWD, like I said, it's an acronym for chronic wasting disease. And let me just kind of explain what it is before we get into, the where and what we do and all. And just to kind of dispel a few myths, we're getting questions all the time. Well, can't you come up with a vaccine, or can't you come up with some way to eradicate it? It's not a disease in the sense that we think of viruses or bacteria. There's no living organism to kill with CWD. What it is a misfolded protein. Our bodies, of course, loaded up with proteins, and if you ever looked at a picture of a protein or a diagram of a protein, because they're spiral shaped and they're this and that. Well, this particular one is a spiral shaped protein, and it has some leaders that come off of it, and typically they take their general shape and they attach to other proteins and other cells and other things. In this particular case, part of that protein has folded over itself and has become deformed and doesn't hook up and attach the way that it normally would. So a protein isn't really a living creature like an amoeba or a one-celled animal or anything like that at all. It's not that it's inorganic, but it's not alive. You can't kill it because it doesn't live to begin with. In this particular case, it manifests itself in the brain. I'm going to throw a $50 word at you. It's referred to as a TSC, or a transmittable spongiform encephalopathy. How's that for a word, huh? And what that means, all those big words, what that really means is transmittable means it's contagious within its own kind, and in this case, cervids, which in Arkansas is elk and deer. It also could be moose, caribou, things like that, but we don't have them. So elk and deer are what get it. And it's sort of like, it's not exactly like, but it's sort of like the same condition that creates mad cow disease for cows, or scrapie for sheep, and things like that. We know that it's been in the United States, in some states, going back to, when did 1967 was the first discovery in Colorado. That was in a fenced facility. But then in 81, I believe it was 81, maybe 79, somewhere in that 1980-ish time frame, it was discovered in free-range animals in Wyoming and Colorado, and then other states found it. We, at that point, when we started our elk hunting season, we realized that, because our elk came from there, we regenerated elk into Arkansas. The eastern elk were extinct, so we brought Rocky Mountain elk in at around that time. And fortunately, the biologists at the time had the foresight to realize, we need to, these other states are seeing CWD. We've been testing all over the place. We don't think we have it, but we need to have a plan in place just in case it does show up here, so that we're not scrambling around with like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off to try to deal with this. So they did. They put together a CWD strategy plan, refined it and looked at it, reviewed it with other states and benchmarked with some other agencies, and basically put it on the shelf, hoping to never have to use it. Well, lo and behold, in 2016, a cow elk, actually the elk was hunted or harvested in October of 2015. And we test every elk, and we also test a ton of deer. We've been, 8,000 deer since whenever they started doing this testing. But we test every elk that's hunted, and this particular one showed up in Newton County over by Pruitt, over in the Buffalo River Valley, and showed up positive. Well, of course, that rang the alarm bells, and I know we've talked about this, but we jumped on it, pulled out the plan. What the plan called for essentially was to do extensive testing, to go out and harvest as many deer in that area, to draw a 10-mile radius around where that positive was found. Lo and behold, we found another one in a deer. In fact, at our elk education center down in Ponca, we found a dead deer there. It was positive. So now we had two. So we drew a 10-mile loop around both of those, basically an oval, and looked for 300 samples within that area. Well, when we got to 260, we had, oh gosh, I forget the number, but I want to say there was 60 positives or something. It was a staggering number. And for those of you that remember, I don't know if you can pull up. If you're following with us, go to agfc.com/CWD, and it'll bring you to our CWD. There's tons of information, not only ours, but also links to other states and federal agencies that are studying this. So anyway, we found that we have it, and we have it big time in the sense that we had lots of positives. The good news there is they were all contained within that general vicinity of Newton County and northwest Arkansas. Well, north central northwest, but that little area. And if you're looking on the map, I don't know if you're following with me on the map there or not. Scooter, can you pull that up? Go to,
as soon as Bob brings it up.
Oh, agfc.com. /CWD. There you go. Great. Now, see where it says CWD in Arkansas? Click on that, and then click on that map. There you go. So you can see now that's the that map shows where the positives were found as of April of this year. Okay. And there were, oh, good golly, let's see how many were there total of all the counties. There were 617 positives. 598 of them were deer, 19 of them were elk. And you can see the red of the, I think that's current year, if you look at that legend.
Mm-hmm. The diamonds are current year. For elk.
Well, the diamonds are elk, and the dots are red. The dots are deer.
Right.
And the red is current year, and the pink is previous years. So you can sort of see that what we're finding is pretty well what we've been finding, and we are finding it in reaches outside of that initial hot zone, but it's still contained primarily within the northwest quadrant of the state. Now, what this map doesn't show, and that's because we've just recently officially included a few counties, and the reason we're doing this show today is Baxter is one of them. And the way that we determine which counties are going to be in the zone is any county, of course, that has a positive is automatically in, or any adjacent county. If you drew a 10-mile radius around that positive, any county that's going to
The
fall
overlap.
into that will also be in there. And that's basically creating a safety margin, if you will. Last year, Baxter County was not, but this year, Baxter County, Stone County, and what's the other one? Scott County, which is down below Fort Smith. Fort Smith is Sebastian County, and Scott County actually had a positive, but it's up in the top part of the state, so just Scott County will be added. Now, here's why that affects the folks in our area. Many hunters in Baxter County will hunt in Marion County, or they might hunt in Stone County, over in the National Forest, because you kind of hit right there where where you live, Scooter. So you could probably, with a 9-iron, put a golf ball into Stone County from where you are.
Yes.
So those are both going to be included, and what that means is if you harvest a deer in that zone, in any of these counties, you can't take the deer out of that zone for processing or even to take it home until you've cleaned all of the meat off of the bone. So let's just kind of go back here a little bit. There's a list. We'll back up one click there. See where it says regulations? Click on that.
Got to go back one.
Yeah, we got to.
Well, I'll read what it says anyway, because you'll just be looking at a list. There we go. Now click back one. There you go. Now see where it says regulations? Click on that. There you go. Okay, that little list there, deer and elk movement restrictions. You can see, you can get a general idea. Again, like I said, it doesn't show, the map doesn't show Baxter, Stone, and Scott, but those will be in that mustard or orange, orangey color when they update this map, which that's going to be updated probably soon, like maybe today, but in the very near future, that map will be correct. Again, the commission has just officially agreed to include those counties, so that's why we're not up to date yet. But in those counties, we only want you to take what we consider low-risk product out of the zone, and low-risk product means antlers with a cleaned skull plate. By cleaned, we mean, power wash the tissue off of the skull plate. For those of you that aren't hunters or don't know what I'm talking about, if you harvest a trophy deer and you want to keep the antlers, maybe you want to bring it to a taxidermist for a mount or something like that. Typically what you'll do is you'll cut the skull in like a wedge shape where the antlers are, and then take that whole part with part of the skull plate. That's what typically hunters are going to do, and then the taxidermist will mount that onto the mount. If you're going to do that, that skull portion would normally have some tissue attached. That has to be completely cleaned out. Not hard to do, but you need to know that you have to do it. The meat, of course, that's what most folks want, is the meat. So that all needs to be taken off of the bone. If you are going to take any teeth for whatever reason, or if you're going to take the skull for a European mount or something like that, that all has to be cleaned. Hides and finished taxidermy products are okay. So if you want to mount your deer, you can bring the hide, and if you're going to have it mounted, you probably know how to do your hide. It's called caping it out, but do the hide in a way that it's not going to be all cut up so the taxidermist can't do anything with it. There's a way to do that, and that's a topic for another day, but those are the things you can take outside of the zone. Everything else needs to stay in the zone. And you can either, what we'd like you to do, because we realize this is the Ozarks, but we'd like you to dig a hole about 2 feet in the ground and bury it. Now, good luck trying to dig a 2-foot hole in the ground where I hunt. You're not going to do it. So, in that case, then, leave it where it was. What we don't want you to do is move it to another area and then, then bury it. Now, here's the other thing is, if you want, we will test everybody's meat for free that wants us to do that. There's no problem. We'll gladly do it. We're going to have several ways you can get your meat tested. One is we're going to have a series of containers, basically freezers, and they'll be spread all through. Each county will have at least one. Baxter County is going to have 2. We're going to have one here at our office in Mountain Home. I forget, I don't know if they've decided where the other one's going to be yet, but there'll be another one. Marion County will have a few, Boone, all the counties will have these freezers. Inside the freezer there will be large plastic bags, zip ties, a 2-part tag, and a Sharpie pen, or pens, hopefully more than one. And the concept is, after you've registered your deer, when you call your deer in to register it or you register it online, you'll get what's referred to as a check number. And you put that check number along with your license number, your customer ID, whatever you want to call that number on your license, and that registration number, as well as your contact information so we can get a hold of you if we need to. You put that on one side of the tag, tear that tag in half. The one half of it is your receipt. The other half, you cut the head off the deer, leave about 6 inches of the neck, put it in the plastic bag, seal it with that zip tie, and attach the tag to it. Drop it in the freezer. We'll come by. We come by. Well, busy time of year, they come by every couple of days. Sometimes every day if it's really busy, and we send those off to testing. Our commitment is to have them back within, I want to say 3 weeks. Actually, she's giving me a note here. Yeah, 3 weeks maximum. But last year we were getting most of them back within a few days. Negatives we get back more quickly, because if it's negative, we send it to one lab for an initial test. If it's negative, we're good with that. If it's positive, then we send it to another federal lab and have it tested with a different type of test, and for a confirmation test we call that, and then we confirm it positive after it shows positive on both of those tests. In that case, we will call you and let you know that your deer tested positive. If you don't hear from us, you can go online onto our website, go back to that page. If you click back once and scroll down just a bit, see what it says CWD test options and results? That lists the different ways you can get it tested, and I'll get through the rest of them. But there's also see that little green tab right in the middle of the page? If you click on that and enter in the number on your tag, it will take you to the database where the result, it'll either say negative, pending, or positive. Okay, and so it's real easy for you to check it yourself, but if it's positive, we'll get a hold of you. Now, what we're also recommending for folks is, if you're going to have your deer tested, and say if you harvest more than one, let's say Scooter's a hunting machine, he gets his 6 deer every year. I just know he does. So in your case, Scooter, you want to package those 6 deer separately. Now, we don't mean you have to wrap, each one of them, but take all your parts if you're going to process it yourself, or at least if you're going to separate out the muscle meat before you take it for grinding, if you don't grind your own meat. But take a given deer and put it in a large trash bag and put a label on it, or maybe even put your receipt tag on it so you know which one is which. Because if you've got more than one deer in your freezer and they call back and say one of them's positive and you haven't separated them all out, you're not going to know which of those deer is the infected deer. And you probably end up, if you're like me and if I've got 2 deer in the freezer and I know one of them's positive and the meat's all mixed together, guess what?
Yeah,
it's gone. But I mean, I'm not overly worried about it, but I will test my meat. I'll get it checked. But I also realize too, we know that we've had this for a long time. With the prevalence rate of positives that we're finding, we know this is not a new issue for Arkansas. It's just that we have only recently discovered it. So if you find you've got a positive, or if we call you, or if you determine that, we'll give you what we're calling a replacement meat tag. So you don't lose the meat from your deer. Now, unfortunately, if it was, that 12-point, well, hopefully you saved the antlers and, you're going to get it mounted or do what you're going to do if it is a trophy. But what we're going to give you is an antlerless tag or a doe tag, so that you can replace the meat that you otherwise have been deprived of because of that positive test.
But that still would only play out if you were still in that season.
Yeah. So. Yeah, this year, yeah, that's right. So if you get that positive result on the last day of the season, I guess you're out of luck.
Yeah.
But however, for the most part, and let me tell you, there aren't that many harvested the last day of the season.
Yeah, that's true.
Most of it, because remember, our modern gun season closes right after Christmas, that 3-day bonus season we have for Christmas. That's the end of the modern gun season. The archery season goes all the way through till the end of February. So say if you did get a deer during the gun season over the Christmas holiday and it came back positive, you're going to have to archery hunt, but you have plenty of time to go out and replace that meat if that's what you're.
Ready to take that 7:45 break?
We'll take it real quick, yeah.
Oh, wow.
We'll be back with Dennis Dunderdale from Arkansas Game and Fish.
Ooh, that went quick.
When you need durable and comfortable hospital scrubs stat, you need the Uniform Shop. The Uniform Shop is the place for top quality uniforms, carrying a great selection of name brands including Carhartt, Cherokee, and Grey's Anatomy, as well as shoes from Clogs, Softwalk, and Landau, stethoscopes from Littman, blood pressure cuffs, scissors, name tag retractable, compression socks, paramedic BDUs, and Rocky boots. The Uniform Shop also offers customizing, embroidery, as well as minor alterations. Let us put you in uniforms. Shop the Uniform Shop.
At Connor Family Funeral Home, our goal is to provide our friends and neighbors with caring, compassionate services at an affordable price. Connor Family is a full-service funeral home that offers a wide range of services to meet your family's needs and customs. We are the first on-site crematory in the area and provide many options to memorialize your loved ones and address all the details for a more personalized service. Where compassion and affordability meet, Connor Family Funeral Home in Mountain Home.
Hi, we're Bob and Linda Zadora, the Z Team at Century 21 Lemac Realty, and we'd like you to meet the rest of our team.
When you are working with the Z Team, you will find that not only are they down-to-earth people, but they are trained professionals who work with downsizers, first-time homebuyers, and clients who may want to relocate to our beautiful Ozarks. Our team has agents who specialize in lake and river properties, listing and selling raw land, acreage, and all residential homes. Listing your property with the Z Team will help get it sold with unmatched Century 21 global marketing. You can find out more at retiretoarkansas.net.
It takes the right gear to survive out here. There she is. Ferris. It's the best gear around. Strong as an ox. Safe as houses. Out back, there's one powerful beast. Awesome. Four-wheel suspension handles whatever Mother Nature throws at you. Designed to take the hard out of hard work and deliver all the power you could need. So if you want to tackle the great outdoors, get yourself a Ferris.
So there I was, naked as a jaybird in the shower with soap in my hair and eyes when I lost water pressure down to a dribble. I immediately grabbed my towel and dialed up Jake at JM Sales and Pump Service. Jake came right over and fixed my water pressure. Now I can take my showers with confidence. Just call Jake.
For all your sales and pump needs, just call Jake at JM Sales and Pump Service, 870-431-5445. He offers high-quality stay-right products.
For years I've lifted weights, probably 30 years. The last 2.5, 3 years I'd have pain in my back of my deltoid at the joint. And it was extremely painful, and it didn't matter if I lifted weights or what I did. Whenever I pushed on anything, it hurt. Dr. Osgood had told me about this laser therapy, and so I tried it. 4 sessions later, 0 pain. And now I'm lifting weights again with no pain.
If you want the best...
We're back live with Dennis Dunderdale, Arkansas Game and Fish. We're talking about chronic wasting disease. It has a lot to do with the elk and the deer hunting in Baxter, Marion, and northwest Arkansas.
And I know I brought up right before the break about being in season, and just because you killed your deer in season and then you turn around and it is tested positive and they send you a tag, that tag could still only be used in season.
Yes.
It doesn't give you a free rein. It's not like a free tag where you can just go out at any time and get your deer back.
Right. That's an excellent point, and thanks for bringing that up. The tag is to replace the meat that you otherwise would have benefited from your harvest. All other regulations still have to be met within the zone, all the private property stuff, seasonal dates. It doesn't mean you can now take and use that tag next year because it's, say if you got it close to the end of the year. None of that is the case at all. It's still, all hunting regulations still have to be followed. Now, with regulations in the zone, we are adding a 5th deer to your zone bag limit because you can take 6 deer statewide, but traditionally in, say, Baxter County or in Deer Zone 2 and 3, you could take 4 deer, $2, and the $2 limit is still a $2 limit. But now you can take 3 antlerless deer. So you can take a total of 5 out of the CWD zone. Not all of Deer Zone 2, just the CWD zone, just the counties within the zone. The other issue is we've removed within the zone, again, not the whole Deer Zone 2, but within the CWD management zone, the 3-point rule is lifted. And if you shoot a button buck, you tag it as a button buck, but it doesn't count towards a buck.
Gotcha.
Okay, so what we're trying to do is really encourage folks to take the deer, take these out. The reason for all this is we're finding that the prevalency is much higher in mature bucks, and so we're looking to get those. On the other hand, we're also finding that the high numbers, the congestion is within does. So we want folks, and this is a hard pill for a lot of hunters to swallow, but please take those does. Please, please, please take does. Number one, assuming it's clean meat, which the chances of your deer being infected are way lower than it being clean. That, and traditionally, and I'm from that same generation, people are reluctant to take does, and that goes back to the days when there weren't many deer around, and folks were, hunters were reluctant to take does because those were the brood stock. Mm-hmm. That's where the new deer came from. So this sort of became a tradition, and now almost I know guys that by religion they won't shoot a doe. Please, you got to change that. We're really what we're trying to do is contain the spread. We can't kill the disease. We're probably never going to eradicate it. We'd love for some potion to come up where we can do that, but so far it hasn't happened. But what we can do is try to contain the spread, and that's what all of these regulations are about: is to try to contain its prevalence and contain its area.
What is the effect on the human body of this disease if they eat some meat that they did not have tested?
That's a great question, Bob, and we get that one a lot too. First of all, Game and Fish, keep in mind, we are a wildlife conservation agency. We are not a public health agency, so we are not in a position, nor would we be allowed to even give an opinion if we had one as to the health issues here. However, we refer to the CDC, the World Health Organization, and the state of Arkansas Department of Health, and all of those agencies have their position is we have no evidence to show that this will transmit to humans or to non-cervid for that matter. With that said, however, common sense says if you suspect an animal to be sick, or if you get a positive result back and it is, whether it's CWD or hemorrhagic disease or hoof slough or anything, you don't want to eat the meat from a sick animal, period. I mean, that's just kind of common sense. Speaking of sick animals, by the time the animal shows visible signs of having CWD, it's had it for a while. Usually from the time they uptake the proteins, and it usually happens from, it commonly happens from transmission of body fluids, saliva, feces, urine, that sort of thing. So when deer eat if they all eat out of the same bucket, if you will, or if they eat from under a feeder, then they're all licking the same blades of grass, and their likelihood of, if one of them has it, the likelihood of it transmitting is pretty high. Whereas in a food plot or in an open range situation, they're all still eating out of the same general area, but they're not right on top of each other, and the likelihood of it spreading is far lower in those cases. If you see an animal that you suspect to be sick, whether it's this or something, there are other diseases, by the way, that demonstrate the same type symptoms. But the symptoms are they stand in that A-frame stance, with their legs spread apart, head down, salivating heavily, urinating while they're drinking, all that kind of just disoriented behavior. Usually they'll separate themselves from the herd, so they're typically alone. If you see something like that, just call us. Okay, we get calls all the time. Hey, I think I got a sick deer. Can I shoot it? No, we'd rather send a biologist or a game warden or somebody out because there's other things we want to do as well. We want to get samples. We want we want to deal with it. So call. I'm going to give you a phone number. It's our hotline. It's the same as the poaching hotline or anything else. If you have a wildlife or a game and fish related emergency, that number is 800-482-9262. And that number is plastered all over all of our materials. It's on your license. It's on the regulations pamphlets. It's on our website. Call that number. Tell them what's going on, and they will have a game warden on the radio within minutes, who will then be out there or get a biologist to come out there.
You say that you don't look for any way to eradicate this. What's the plan for slowing it down? What's the game plan? Scooter mentioned earlier that they've asked you not to feed the deer. Where are we headed?
Okay, what we're trying to do to slow it down and to slow the spread is, one, eliminate as much of the types of things. For example, not using deer feeders. In fact, it's illegal to use bait stations and feeding deer in the zone between, you can do it between September 1st and December, 31st? Yeah. September 1st and December 31st will still allow you to use the bait. And that was controversial because we know, do we want to take that risk? No, we don't want to take the risk, but we do want people to kill deer. And that's a good way to do it. So during that high point in the season, basically during the rifle season or muzzle loading, sure, go ahead and do that. Outside of those areas, feeders are not allowed.
Now,
plain and simple.
You don't want people out feeding deer.
We are not restricting backyard feeders, but that's more from the political and public perception kind of sense. We would prefer people don't, and we've always felt that way. That's not a good habit to feed deer. It's like feeding any wildlife manually or giving them an artificial sense of, number one, what you're feeding them isn't that nutritious. They're going to get a whole lot more from native grasses and berries and those sorts of things. But we would rather they don't. However, we're not restricting backyard feeders and wildlife watchers and that sort of thing. Same with bird feeders. I mean, they're not the best idea in the world either, but we take enough black eyes as it is. If we started restricting that, it would be all the less. So those are a couple of the things we're doing. And as I said, we're trying to increase the harvest rate. If you really want to help, control this, go hunt some deer. And I know that sounds, oh my gosh, I'm not a hunter. Well, then become a hunter. If we didn't have hunting, this thing would have exploded so long ago. In fact, we're not sure of this. I'm not going on record as saying it's the cause, but one of the blowbacks from overpopulation of wildlife is typically a diseased herd.
And if you're not a hunter, go encourage somebody that is.
Yes.
Come to your place because you have them.
Yes, open your land and let them hunt on it. Absolutely right.
It's a good call.
Okay, I got 2 minutes left. I got two things I want to cover quickly. By the way, my phone number, if you have more questions, is 870-321-5548. I don't know which camera I'm looking at here, so I'm probably looking in the middle.
Closest to me.
Two things I want to cover. One is our fine money, whole different subject. When you get a ticket for a game and fish violation and you pay a fine for that, Game and Fish doesn't get that money. What it does is it goes towards wildlife or conservation education through rural services. It's called the Conservation Grant, and you can apply for those grants through either your school or through the rural services or through your conservation district. The deadline is October 3rd for applying for those. You can find more about it on agfc.com/conservation grants. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is at the Fred Berry Center in Yellville, we're still having Target Tuesdays every Tuesday from 9 to 11, Wildlife Wednesdays every Wednesday from 9 to 11, and Fishing Fridays from 9 to 11 on each Friday. The fishing is all catch and release. It's not a babysitting service, so please bring the little ones. We love to have them, but plan on being there with them, okay, so that you can, number one, enjoy the show, but two, not leave us to have to babysit while we're trying to do other stuff. That's pretty much it. Boy, there's so much more to talk about, but I guess we're out of time.
It always ends
Yeah.
too early, doesn't it?
Okay, agfc.com is our website. Please buy a hunting and fishing license. Support conservation that way. If you just refuse to do that, we'll take a check or cash.
There you go.
And we will see you tomorrow. Gotta go.
Bye-bye.